Hello everyone, Sadhana Saptah 2026 being organized from 2nd to 8th April under Mission Karmyogi. I welcome you all to Samohik Charcha on strategic avenues for extramural funding in life sciences and anatomy of a winning proposal. My name is Ratan Chaudhary, a senior scientist working at ICAR National Research Center on Camel, Bikaner, Rajasthan. So if you are an early career scientist, a PhD holder, master degree holder, or research scholar or young professional, and looking for extramural funding, postdoc opportunities, PhD positions, even short-term trainings, then this Charcha is for you. The content of my talk is split into various subheadings starting from Indian research ecosystem, major funding agencies in India, fostering international collaborations through research proposal, and then finally I will talk about criteria of a winning proposal. So let's understand what is about the overview of Indian research ecosystem. The amount of money invested by the government of India on research and development is called gross domestic on R&D, in short GERD. India invests about 1.27 lakh crore rupees, which constitutes 0.65% of India's GDP. Compared to other countries like US, Japan, Germany, UK, China, and Brazil, India's investment on R&D remains less than 1% since decades. Though India's research ecosystem in life sciences is growing with a strong emphasis on biotechnology, agriculture, and translational medicine. As per last year 2025 report, Department of Science and Technology, or DST, supported Indian researchers through various grants like FIST, PERS, SAFE, SATHI. So FIST, which stands for Fund for Improvement of Science and Technology Infrastructure, supported more than 3,000 academic departments. Promotion of university research and scientific excellence, or PERS scheme, supported 91 universities. Likewise, sophisticated analytical instrument facilities, or SAFE, there are 15 centers for that, and almost 5 centers for sophisticated analytical and technical help institutes, or SATHI. The Department for Biotechnology, or DBT, is another premier funding agency of India which supports life science departments for education and research program like DBT Builder, which supports more than 45 universities and institutions. DBT also provides fellowships like Inspire, WISE PhD, WISE PDF, Prime Minister Early Career Research Grant, and even National Postdoc Fellowship, or NPDF. Today's India ranked 38th in Global Innovation Index, 6th in Global Patent Filing, and 3rd in research publication worldwide. One of the recent survey identifies that India's research and development gap was not due to the lack of talent, but minimal private sector participation and failure to translate research into scalable commercial products. To bridge this gap and encourage private sector innovation, the government of India recently launched 1 lakh crore rupees Research Development and Innovation Fund, called RDI Fund, aims to boost deep tech and commercializing research. The RDI fund was launched by Honorable Prime Minister at Emerging Science, Technology and Innovation Conclave 2025 on November 3rd. RDI aims to accelerate India's research and help in the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Translating a technology requires 1 to 9 technical scale called Technology Readiness Level or TRL. Originating from NASA, the TRL is a global measure to assess maturity of research from basic level to development or deployment level till the marketable product. Whereas TRL1 is the basic idea and TRL9 is the proven commercial applications. So the research proposal in India excel in TRL1 to 3, which is the early stage research, but lack TRL9. Therefore, focusing on TRL4 to 6, which is an intermediate stage, to TRL7 to 9, which is the marketable product stage, in the proposal is the key to enhance India's research ecosystem. So after seeing this Indian research ecosystem, let's talk about the major government funding agencies in India. There are 5 major government funding agencies, and they are ANRF, stands for Anusandhan National Research Foundation, DVT, Department of Biotechnology, ICMR, stands for Indian Council of Medical Research, CSIR is for the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and ICAR, which is the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. ANRF supports 19 different types of grants, namely ANRF Catalytic Partnership Program, ATRI, and then Center of Excellence for STI Indicators and Analytics, AI for Science and Engineering, Maham MedTech Mission, 2D Innovation Hub, Prime Minister Fellowship, Convergence Research Center of Excellence, Advanced Research Grant, ARG Matrices, Ramanujan Fellowship, and PDF JC Bose Grant. A big project called Partnership for Accelerated Innovation and Research, PAIR projects, and so on. Another premier and biotechnology related funding agency is the DBT, whose mandate is to promote research on biotechnology, plant and animal, molecular biology, and life sciences. Key schemes of DBT are Extramural Research and Development Grant in a specialized task force like animal biotechnology, stem cell biology, vaccine production, National Biopharma Mission or NBM, which is an industry academia collaborative mission for accelerating biopharmaceutical development, Biotech Industry Research Assistant Council or BIRAC for academic industry collaborations and translating patents into products, and time to time proposal call, new R&D proposals, DBT builders, and others. Department of Biotechnology proposal can be submitted through ePromise, which is an online portal of DBT for proposal submission. After registering and logging into ePromise account, investigator can apply for funding to open call in due date, which is the date given between the start date to end date of the proposal submission. Under various category, if you click one, then you find all the open calls available there. and then proposal can be submitted exclusively online. Research on medical health, advancing scientific knowledge and addressing critical health challenges. Related proposals. ICMR is the great choice for the investigators. Key schemes of ICMR are the National Health Research Program, which funds for large-scale multi-state projects focusing on 11 prioritized disease conditions. Extramural grants and the call for proposal are also coming from time to time. Right here in the screen showing you the 11 prioritized disease conditions, which is funded by ICMR. And this is the extramural grants and also the call for proposal, which is called by the ICMR as per the need and priority. The next funding agency is the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, or CSIR. CSIR's mandate is the technology innovations and translational research and commercialization technology to align with the national goals. Key schemes of CSIR includes extramural grants and call for proposal, travel grants, symposium grants, New Idea Fund or NIF, contingency and equipment grant, mission mode projects, which funds large-scale domain-specific research and development projects. And here are the 9 mission mode projects which is available in 2026. Okay, someone can go and visit to www.csir.res.in for the detail. So another funding agency which is dedicated to advancing agricultural, veterinary, and animal sciences is the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, or ICAR. Key schemes are the for funding is the National Agriculture Science Fund, or NASF, which supports strategic and frontier research in agriculture. And these are the 6 basic strategic areas of NASF in the sector of biotechnology, including gene editing, abiotic and biotic stresses, precision agriculture, nanotechnology in agriculture, farm mechanization, and social sciences and policy research, and in allied areas. In addition to that, ICAR also supports extramural grants for ICAR scientists working in different institutions. And extramural grants, or EMR, of ICAR is for non-ICAR institutions and universities, and that comes via call for proposal. Now we'll discuss options that young investigators and established researchers have been looking for international collaborations and wish to secure funding through writing a good proposal. So let us consider the fostering international collaborations. Re-entry and transition fellowships for Indian investigators residing overseas are Ramalinga Re-entry Fellowship by the DBT, which offers fellowship plus research grant to highly prestigious aimed at bringing back highly skilled Indian scientists working overseas. Ramanujan Fellowship, offered by SERV, now called ANRF, for brilliant scientists and engineers from all over the world to take up scientific research positions in India. India Alliance DBT Welcome supports 4 different types of fellowship: Early Career Fellowship, Intermediate Fellowship, Senior Fellowship, and Margadarshi Fellowship. And these fellowships are open for Indian investigators too. Other programs related to international collaborations are Indo-US Science and Technology Forum supports 15 programs, including postdocs. Then United States India Education Foundation, Fulbright Fellowship is the most popular one. It also supports students studying in US. Then Indo-French Center, Indo-German Science and Technology Center, which is IGSTC. IGSTC funding joint research programs with specific allied nations. It has different programs like 2+2 schemes, women involved in science and engineering, which is called WISER, and then paired early career fellowship in allied research, and then small immediate need grants. Other types of international collaborations are International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. Under this, coordinated research projects and technical cooperation projects are funded. And then we have Indo-Australian, Indo-Japan, Indo-UK proposals, NSF-DST/DBT joint call, NIH-ICMR or NIH-DBT joint call, Mary Skłodowska-Curie Actions Fellowship, supports a global postdoctoral fellowship. For that, a candidate should have a PhD degree or having less than 8 years of research experience after PhD. So in modern sciences, a funding agency is looking for interdisciplinary proposals that ultimately results fruitful outcomes beneficial to the society. So the combining various institutions with varied expertise, like veterinary institutions writing a joint proposal with premier medical and premier engineering institutions like IITs or NITs, then chances of success will be more. Such a joint proposal has certain benefits, namely shared infrastructure, enhanced quality of proposal, problem-solving solutions, and exchange of ideas among collaborators, investigators. So what are the criteria for a good research proposal? In general, the grant proposal evaluation criteria are: number one, does investigator asking a novel and sound scientific questions, which is the clear hypothesis. Number two, is proposal relevant to the mandate of the agency, and is that of a scientific relevance to the nation. Third, has investigator established a proof of concept? In other words, is the proposal has the preliminary data showing workability of experiment? Fourth, how sound the methodology is and what are the alternative strategies investigators have in case it does not work as expected. In addition to the criteria of a good proposals, I stated in the last slide, investigators should also consider these criteria: problem identification. The inception of a proposal must be strong and reasonable so that you tell a good story. Aims and objectives should be clear, specific, and realistic. And this is the common pitfall for many proposals. The study design and feasibility of the projects, which is backed up by the proof of concepts and experience of the team members. Collection of the data analysis, including statistical tests, should be stringent. And then an alternative strategy that should be there in your projects. Team members, if you are a junior, and then try to include senior researchers to have experience. Timeline and achievable targets can be drawn by the Gantt chart. And significance and proposed outcomes should be there. Proposal should have ethical clearance compliances like IAC, IBSC, or CCSEA. And you should also consider the budgetary and administrative factors like realistic budgets, justification for the costs. Simply seeking maximum funds is not a good idea. There are common pitfalls that investigator should avoid while writing a proposal. Some of the common mistakes found in research proposals are unfocused goal, inadequate plan and methodology, and investigator himself or herself has doubt about the feasibility of the methodology and objectives. Number third is often projects are rejected if not followed the instructions laid down by the funding agency, including limited page number, format, and missing deadlines. Lack of preliminary data often weakens the proposal. So before submitting a grant, make sure you have some data to support your hypothesis or workability of your proposal. And finally, proposing and overambitious objectives, which seems unrealistic to reviewers or agency, is the reason. Now let's understand this with an example. Here I'm putting a few snapshots of an awarded proposal from SERV. This project was written to establish a proof of concept by the investigator. So initially, investigator is introducing the topic, and then in the next paragraph saying how it fits into the investigator's current research program, which indicates that researcher is an expertise of that area under which the proposal has been made. It has a hypothesis and which is backed by the justification. Justification may have a flow diagram or a picture to make it a stronger impact. Once we have that, then the proposal is asking key questions, what they want to solve it from this research proposal. And finally, our investigator is identifying the research gaps, what would be doing in this research, which has been done before, and then later it's emphasizing the outcome of this proposal. And then this is the timeline showing through the Gantt chart. In summary, India's research ecosystem is growing and emerging as a research hub country. There are various funding agencies. One could try to submit proposal, meaning investigator should not rely upon one funding agency. Align your core expertise with national mission. Look for your feasibility and expertise of the investigators and the team before you apply for the grant. Write a joint multidisciplinary proposal. Example we have shown. Veterinary, medical, and engineering institutions come together to write a joint proposal. Look for international collaborations because that will elevate your research skill. And then we talk about the key point of a winning proposal. So therefore, revise and re-revise before you submit it. And then avoid common pitfalls on your proposals. Be neutral and realistic when you state your objectives. Thanks for listening.